What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And making his triumphant return to the podcast is Terrence.
Hold on. Did I freeze again? Oh, okay. No,
we didn't know if you were going to do what I would do and say, "Hey, you're welcome, people. You are graced by my presence."
No,
because well, yeah, because you're not a dick.
Here.
So what have you been? So me and Mike have not played anything new. I'm sure Mike is still noodling around in Ghost of Tsushima,
taking
I'm
pictures.
still
and
playing Mega Baseball.
Yeah.
I played two new games. One of them is not new. Fantasy Strike is a PC indie fighting game that came out a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simplistic. It's got a 4-button system. You've got attack, special 1, and special 2. Now, when you press the attack button, you press either forward or back, and that alters the attacks. And the special moves are just whatever the character has. There's 12 characters, and this game is heavily matchup based. Like, everyone can beat everybody, but there are certain matchups. Good luck, because it's very difficult. And matches are very quick because the health bars are segmented. So some people have 5 hits of health. The fast characters who are like super fast can get in and out. She has 5 hits. There's one in particular, basically the Ibuki of the game, her Setsuna. She's super fast. She can teleport all over the place. She only has 5 hit points. Rook is the grappler. He has 9 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Like it's not an easy game to get into. I mean, you can mash buttons and do stuff, but again, it's very easy to get into, but it's difficult to master, especially depending on the matchups that are. I play with, right now, as you play the game, you level up your characters. You get a number level. Just shows you how many times you've played with the character. There's a character named Argagarg.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fish.
He's like a squid dude.
Yeah, he's essentially Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Got the stretchy limbs. There's 12 characters. He has like 8 bad matchups in the game because he can keep away, but it's not easy. And his moveset, and they have difficulty ratings for each character. He's rated 3 because it's really hard to fight him. But I have the most wins with him because I played with him the most, because I want to get good with him. I'm not, and I want to learn every matchup against him. And then there's some brain dead characters like the Gray. He has this ghost that he can sick on you. She grabs you up, and he can do every move he does takes 2 hits, 2 segments of your life bar. So if you have somebody with 5, they've already lost 40% of their health. It's fun. Like, if you like fighting games, you'll be able to get into it easily because of the systems in it. It's very simple to get into. But it's very difficult to master.
I want to play it just because of the guy that designed it.
Who I don't.
David Sterling is the guy behind the Fantasy Strike series, because
Is this the
started
Yomi game?
Huh? Yeah, no, he developed Yomi.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Puzzle Strike. Yeah, as well, which is another tabletop game.
That's the game we played. And so it's based off of. Is it based off of that?
It is. Yes, it is. It is the video game version of what Yomi essentially is. Or it has those characters in it as well.
In order to counter throws, it's called a Yomi counter in the game. In order to counter a throw, you don't press anything. You just hold neutral. It's just neutral.
But he got his start. He was the lead. He's either the lead designer, or he was in charge of balancing the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD remix when that came out a few years back. And then he spun that off into like a tabletop gaming company that he has several things.
Serlin Games?
Yeah.
Because that's the company that made the game.
Yep.
He did a good job. It's balanced. It's, again, any character can beat any other character. It just takes a lot more effort with others. And I guess that's for every fighting game. Mm-hmm. But it's balanced enough that you can win. If you put time into your character, you'll be able to win any match.
Is it free to play in the way that Killer Instinct is free to play, where you get like certain characters that you can use?
All 12 are unlocked.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
what's the pay mechanics then?
Different costumes and shit.
Oh, that's
That's it.
fair.
Yeah. There were some costumes I kind of want, but I'm not paying for. You don't get any kind of like playing the game. You don't get any currency or anything like that.
Mhm.
And in order to play your friends, this is kind of whack. You have to buy the core pack.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
online play is gated behind. I mean,
yeah. I mean, no, you can play online, but you can't play your friends.
Oh, I see.
You got to buy at least the core pack, which is $20, in order to play friendly games. But you can do, and the cool thing is, what are they? Ranked matches is a tournament. It's like a tournament brackets, and you pick three. Cool. You pick three characters, and then you go through, and you have to win 3 matches. And if you win 3 matches, you go on to the next round of the tournament. Then you go to the grand finals, which is kind of it's cool. I've won
like King of Fighters style. Do you have to win with all like? Do you have to defeat all 3 characters that your opponent has picked to win?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like King of Fighters.
So like if it's 2-2, if you lost with the character and they win, I think you have to. If you're down to one character, that character has to beat like the rest of his team, just that character that you have left. And then it's cool because you go to grand finals, and if you win, you get a lot more points than if you just do casual matches. So that's dope. It makes you feel like you're in a tournament. I've won twice. And I've only been playing for 2 days. There have some people, well, of course, once you play the people that have been playing on PC for however the fucking long they've been playing, you're not going to win. I don't care what the matchup is. It's just that good. And that says a lot about the game because they know all the matchups. And it's frame data heavy too. So it's cool. It's a fun game. Like if you're a fighting game fan, it might turn some people off because of how simplistic it is. And there's a jump button. You can turn it to where the D-pad jumps, but it's best to just have the button. And there's no crouch blocking. Just hold back to block. Gotcha. But certain characters cross up. So it's and then the next game just came out today for PS4.
It's free too.
Free to play. Yeah, it's free to play. It's Fall Guys. This is basically like Takashi's Castle or Wipeout. That's all it is. But it's incredibly fun. Like it's super fun. You start with 60 people. The first round is an obstacle course of some sort. There's like 3 or 4 different obstacle courses that they put you on, and you have to just qualify. You got to make it to the top 30. So you're running through the obstacle courses, like spinning floors and things, trying to knock you off the thing, and then you can grab players. There's a grab button so you can grab other people, which is fucked up. So if you know you're gonna lose, you can just grab somebody and hold them, and that 1 second can just screw somebody up. Yeah, it might cost somebody that.
Oh, okay. So it's black people the game, right? It's just crabs in a barrel the game.
It's like you should, if you look at video, it's funny as hell because it's 60 people. There's one in particular where you have to. It's called Gate Crash, where you're running through the obstacle course and there are 5 doors and then like 4, then 3, then 2 doors, or maybe I don't know how many starts out with, but some of the doors are not real and they're just walls. So because you have to run through the wall, you got to jump through it, and if you pick the wrong door, you're just gonna slam headfirst into a wall, and then you'll have to find the one that opens up. So what you do is let everybody else run through into it first, and then okay, let me go through that wall and then run through. Then the other maps it's just a bunch of silly shit going on. But then the second round is always a team round where you have like 10 people on a team or 15 people on a team. And it's a team game. There was one in particular where it's 3 teams of 5 or 3 teams of 10. I don't know how many it is. You have to roll a ball through an obstacle course. So you're all rolling this ball, and they're segmented. You're in a lane, right? So as you're rolling the ball, your team is kind of doing it. I was playing earlier, and my team was winning. But as we were winning, I saw somebody in the blue lane, like running ahead of his team. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? That's not how you're supposed to play this game. But little did I know that the segments turned into just one lane at the end. So what he was doing is he ran ahead of everybody else. By the time we got down to the bottom, like he ran in front of our ball and stopped us from rolling the ball into into the finish line, and his team just kept going, and then the other team kept going, and we came in last place. And I'm like, that's really fucked up. So the next time I went into that game, I did the same thing to another because fuck it, like why not? And then it's 3 rounds, and then you got the final round. And the final round is usually 10 people left by that time. And the one that I haven't won yet. It's really hard to fucking win. It's not easy. It's almost like luck, 70% luck, 30% skill. But the one that I came the closest, I came in 3rd place. The last one is 5 floors of hexagonal flooring that kind of falls apart as you're running across it. So you're running, and the floor falls apart, and then you drop down to the next segment of the floor, and it falls apart. And there's 10 people doing the same thing. So as you're running, the floor collapses, and you have less and less floor to run on. And by the time you get to the bottom, it's just kind of however many people are left, just running around trying to survive and whoever falls down last wins. So I was winning. I may not have been winning, but I was at the second to last segment of the floor. But by that time, somebody else was already beneath me on the last floor. But the last floor is really big, so they have a lot of room to run down. And I was trying to jump, and there was less and less floor. And I tried to jump and dive to one floor so I could have a little bit more time at the segment that I was on. I missed it, and I fell. But because somebody was beneath me, they had already collapsed the floor right underneath me, and I just fell right into the fucking water, and I lost. I was pissed. But it's fun. It's fun. It's infuriating and fun at the same time. Like it's gonna be a hit once they fix it.
That's kind of fun. So
yeah.
This feels like a reality TV show competition waiting to happen.
It's funny because
it's pretty much it.
it's funny because there's another game that, like, when we talked about it on PlayStation Plus stuff last week, the cover doesn't make this game look like jack shit. Like it's funny. I guess it's good for them that it's on PlayStation Plus, because this way it'll actually get in the hands of people that'll just try it just because.
Yeah, a lot of people said it's going to be like it's possibly could be the next what was that, Rocket League,
right?
Because they released that on PlayStation Plus for free when it first came out.
Well, and apparently like some controversy befall the game today, so like I don't know
how
I don't know if it's like releasing later in other parts of the world or if it's like delayed on PC. The game got like review bombed on Steam today, and then the developers like said something about it, like on their Twitter account. They're like, "Oh, like this really sucks. We're getting review bombed on release day. Like, I don't, it's really frustrating." I think that the reason behind whatever the aggravation is COVID related, which makes it doubly irritating. Like it's something that's out of their control, I feel like. So then the game got positive review bombed once they put out like a call on Twitter for people, and so like people brought it back up to getting good.
Well, here's the thing, like you can't hate the game. Like it's just silly, but it's incredibly fun. Like it's like I'm just like I downloaded it.
I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah, I'm downloading it right now.
As soon as you said it was fun, I turned my PlayStation on and started.
In the first round, it's 60 people just running around with chickens with their head cut off, trying to get to the end of this fucking obstacle course. And then half of the people are gone by the end of it. It's ridiculous. And you get to create, you can like dress up your little whatever, the blob thing, whatever the hell it's called. That's you unlock things. Yeah, your Fall Guy. And it's like chicken suits and shit. It's silly. But like I don't see how you can't like the game. How you wouldn't like it. It's just a fun party game.
We are like I've been watching a lot of stuff online here lately, people streaming and stuff like that. We're in a really interesting era. I don't think people appreciate I don't think the era of gaming that we're in, that there's so many just really fun and relatively cheap, if not free, like online group experiences. Like that's one thing that the battle royale genre has kind of brought along, is this like massive multiplayer kind of experience that you'd never really had before, but it's very like digestible, like the it's very bite-sized compared to other things.
Right.
And I think it's pretty cool. I think it was pretty nifty. So
the funny thing, they had a I don't know if this is on the, I didn't really look at the docket. There was a fighting game roundtable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see that? And the reason why I even decided to give Fantasy Strike a chance, because first of all, it just popped up on free. I downloaded it last Thursday, and I did the tutorial. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And I deleted it. I was like, this is dumb. Like, I didn't like anything about it. Like, I gotta press a button to jump. This is dumb. And I have like 4 moves. This is really stupid. So I deleted it. But then I watched somebody named J. Croft. I don't know if you know who he is. Yeah, he plays fighting games. I started following him because he did Dragon Ball Fighters. But for just by happenstance, I turned on YouTube, and he was playing Fantasy Strike, and I watched him play. I'm like, he's doing all of this with this system? Fuck, this looks kind of fun. So I re-downloaded it. I downloaded it again. It's only 7 gigs. So I downloaded it again, or 4, and I decided to practice with one person, and then I went to casual matches. And as I started playing, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get it now. This is kind of fun, and it's free. So there's all these free-to-play games, and he was talking about somebody was talking about that round table. Like, most of the Japanese fighter games have horrible netcode, just garbage. This game has perfectly fine netcode. It's GGPO. It's rollback. And what he was saying is, like, we don't need you guys. He's like, we don't need you guys. There are so many fighting games that have really good netcode, very good games that you can play. Free games, cheaper games. Mortal Kombat, American game, very good netcode. Killer Instinct, like the best netcode for a fighting game, period. This game, this Fantasy Strike, is rollback, very good. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, excellent netcode. And all of these games are, well, except for Mortal Kombat, they're very cheap.
Yeah.
And they're fighting games. Like, in these games, it's just weird that, like, the Japanese people, the Japanese fighting community, that they don't want to use that. They want to use their own proprietary shit, and it never works.
Well, it's interesting. We're going to talk about a story later on the docket that I think can tie into this. Fighting games especially, I think, are going to go through a very different evolution in terms of distribution model, because I think the Street Fighter model, what they've done with Street Fighter V especially, and other fighting games do it too, it's just the first example that pops to mind, I feel like is going to be like the omnipresent model going forward. And don't be shocked when, like, a Street Fighter 6 comes along in 3 years or 4 years or whenever that happens, if that game is either minimally expensive or maybe even has like a free offer.
But didn't Killer Instinct do it first?
Killer Instinct did it first.
Well, they had a round robin, like, free.
They had like a rotating character that you could play as for free. It was almost like more of a extended demo in a lot of ways, rather than a free to play. But I could easily see a Street Fighter where they release like Street Fighter 6 and there's like 8 playable characters for free, and then you can purchase additional characters or costumes or whatever, what have you. It'll be interesting to see, because, like I said, there's a big story that happened last week about a major game that's coming out that is a little surprising, but at the same time, not really. But like I said, we'll get there.
And Power Rangers, that season 3 came out. RJ, whatever the fuck his name is, that nigga's broken. He can kill any character by himself with no assist needed. He can. Well, if you get touched by him, you just put the controller down, because he's gonna kill you.
It's a good thing that Fall Guys and Power Rangers season 3 have come out, because there's no notable new releases this week at all. So you're gonna have to deal with your existing catalogs for a week here.
Yeah, everybody download Fall Guys. It's fucking fun. Like,
I'm gonna play it as soon as we're done. So
yeah.
If the servers are up, because they went down.
Maybe that's why they
didn't.
Maybe the servers.
The game, it's not even out. Like, it doesn't come out till September, technically. But they got so many people, like 120,000 people at the same time jumped on, and they were like, "Oh shit, we didn't expect that." So they had to take the servers down to make more room, I guess. I don't know if they're still up. I don't know if they're still down though. So they might be up by the time this is over. They should be.
Very good.
So,
welcome back, Terrence. For those of you that miss Terrence's face, you can go to youtube.com/densepixels, subscribe. He looks the same, so but hey, look at him anyway. Look at his background. It's Fall Guys. Every time we say the term Fall Guy, I think of the show that used to come on called The Fall Guy.
Wasn't there a movie?
I think so.
Or was that something else?
I would. Yeah, there was a movie called The Fall Guys. But I'm old, and I think of 80s television dramas called The Fall Guy. It was in the vein of MacGyver. Anyway, this is an advertisement. Go to youtube.com/densepixels, click that notification bell, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. New videos every week. The show that you're listening to right now. Subscribe to all the TMP Studios podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, including the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema. We just had a very funny episode about a very bad movie. And the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. Go to densepixels.com/premium. And for $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to the premium slate of podcast content, including the airing of grievances, which I know I said that we would do one. We are doing it. We are doing it this week. But we were too busy recording the latest episode of The Men with the Golden Tongues. That's why you don't get the airing of grievances, because The Men with the Golden Tongues is a better show because Brad and I are on it.
It's true.
And we talk about the 2015 Guy Ritchie movie, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was a fun conversation to have. No Time to Bleed, our action movie podcast, Upstage Conversation, the latest episode based on The Producers, I think, just recently released. And you get the full episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Look, man, look. Last week, look, the show is good always, right? Last week, they really are like, they can't wait to get behind that paywall. And it was 60 minutes and 10 seconds before Jay called some politician the C word. So, yeah, if you want to figure out who he's talking about, give up $5 a month or $50 a year. That's a really good show. That $5 is worth it for that show alone. So, densepixels.com/premium.
In my absence, I tried very hard to stay away from politics because of Jesus Christ.
Oh, I get it.
Yo,
believe me, I get it.
It's one of the reasons, man. It's all depressing.
I wish I had the will to be able to shut them down.
It was hard.
It's tough.
But
hey, big deal, right? Big deal. I mean, who cares?
It is
our president is retarded. I'm sorry. I know we're not supposed to say that, but good Lord, yo, he's got.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Right. Yeah, that was also
I don't know if I'm ready for the amount of self-flagellation it's going to require to watch that interview. The whole thing.
I watched it.
Like I'm going to have
to. I watched it. I could see the reporter wanting to put a bullet in his own head. Like he was literally like, "What do you mean? I don't what?" And he was British, so his accent was. He looked exasperated. Like he couldn't hold it in. He just was like, "Yo,
he turned into Hugh Grant in a romantic comedy."
Yeah, it's embarrassing, dude. It's sad. I couldn't. I'd be like, "Yo, I'm done. I can't talk to you anymore. I hate you." I just left.
Speaking of things that just couldn't be held in any longer, Project xCloud is going to be available starting on September 15th as part of Game Pass Ultimate. Of course, Project xCloud, which I think is just being called xCloud now, is Microsoft's streaming service that will let you play your Xbox games anywhere. It's going to be a part of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. It's not going to raise the price of this subscription. So if you already have Game Pass Ultimate, then you will have access to xCloud. According to Microsoft, this will give Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members access to, quote, more than 100 games from the cloud if they use Android devices. Apparently, it's rolling out with a beta period to start, and then it will scale upward. It is only going to be available for Android devices to start, not on iOS quite yet. I guess they're going with the soft rollout function. Not that there's any shortage of Android devices out there, but they're working on it. And it's not even on Windows 10 yet. They're going to bring it to Windows 10 sometime later this year with a dedicated app. Here's some of the titles that'll be available through this service on day one. Name your Xbox exclusive. It's there. Like literally all of the Microsoft exclusives from this past generation are part of the mix. You also have Destiny 2, for example, Ark Survival Evolved. Scrolling down the list for non-Microsoft games. It's mostly Microsoft. Outer Worlds is going to be on there. The Ori games, of course, they're all Microsoft. The Wasteland series is going to be on there. Yakuza Kiwami 2 is going to be on there. And Microsoft said that more games will be added over time. It's going to be available in 22 countries at launch. Pretty much anyone you'd expect to see, except notably not Japan. But then again, they don't own Xboxes over there anyway, so I don't know what the fucking matters there. But yeah, so xCloud is finally happening. Gentlemen, how sad is Google Stadia right now?
Does Google Stadia still exist?
They still do exist. They just had a presentation a couple weeks ago and everything to announce more games that released like 6 months ago that are coming to the service.
Do you know anyone that has Google Stadia?
I don't.
Neither do I.
Not even me. The guy that would be the most likely to get it out of this group has not even thought about checking it out.
Hasn't it already been determined that xCloud is already better than Stadia? Like, is this performance-wise?
They're actually giving you the performance that they promise from day one, which is
yeah, like
Google Stadia's will get there eventually.
Look, the games that are on here aren't that good. like I can name. I heard the Wasteland series is good.
Mm-hmm. If you like XCOM, it's right up your alley. So
I do not like XCOM.
Well, then don't worry. Michael will probably enjoy them though.
You got Gears of War Ultimate Edition. That's cool. Gears of War 4 was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Halo 5.
Yeah.
No.
Halo. Like I'm looking through these games. Killer Instinct Definitive Edition. There you go. Excellent. But that's a fighting game, and streaming fighting games, yo, and I don't know. Again, their net code is really good, but you're streaming, so it's all dependent upon your fucking. The Outer Worlds, that's good. Doesn't take a lot of effort for that. Ori and the Blind Forest is a very good game. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I don't know. I heard the performance of that game was spotty. I don't know how that's gonna work on the streaming platform. Quantum Break, no. Recore, it's fine. Rise, Son of Rome, why?
Because it's there.
Fuck yourself. State of Gate 2, no. Sunset Overdrive is fine. Yeah, look, this is release day, right? So these are
this is day one. They said they will add more stuff.
I mean, if you're already paying for it, whatever, it's fine.
It's added value.
Yeah, it's added value to it. So that's cool. Why is Stadia still a thing?
I don't know, because with this, like, again, you're paying $15 a month. Like with Google Stadia, there's a couple games you get for free, but most of the games on the service you still have to buy.
Yeah, that's
like with this.
That's a no go.
Right. With this, they're already there.
How much is this Ultimate Pass?
$15 a month.
$15 a month.
And that gets you Game Pass and
Xbox Live, right?
Yep.
It's not bad. It really isn't. Why the fuck why are they still making consoles at this point?
Well, it's funny because you weren't here last week when we basically talked about this for 20 minutes as to why, the most impressive thing that Microsoft has announced is the expansion of Game Pass. It's still not clear if they actually care about selling Xboxes or not.
Yeah, I don't.
As long as they buy Game Pass,
I don't think they do.
Right, they've offered you more platforms to play the games on. That's not an Xbox.
Right, if you have a high end PC,
If you have a high-end phone, here you go.
I can't play games on a phone. I refuse.
Look, I'll tell you what. On an iPad Pro, probably would look pretty good. Probably would run pretty well.
Can you like sync a controller to it?
Yes.
Because I can't play games without a controller. It's impossible for me.
You absolutely can, for sure.
No. Well then, fucking again. how much is the Series X going to cost?
We don't know. That's
still what they haven't released yet. That's weird. Like
the speculation by people who are smart about these things is that they're playing price release chicken right now. Sony and Microsoft are like one of them's waiting for the other one to blink first.
It makes sense.
Sony's waiting because they want Microsoft to announce at 500 so that they can announce at 500. Microsoft's waiting because they want Sony to announce at 500 so that they can announce at 400.
Right. I mean, look, like Microsoft could come out the gate and be like, you know what, $399, fuck you.
Right. They don't give a fuck anymore. Like it's just a fucking PC at this point.
Right. $399, but you have to buy Game Pass.
Look, people take that deal. They've been trying to finance people's Xboxes since the 360.
Oh, if you $399 with Game Pass, $500. $500 a year of Game Pass.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I would do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now they need to put out games, and that'll be. I
mean, that's
isn't it completely backwards compatible? Play everything on it.
I don't think there's too many games that aren't going to be backwards compatible.
I'm talking about all the way back to like Xbox.
Yeah, I don't know about going back to original Xbox. I know Xbox One should be fully compatible. I would imagine 360.
Yeah.
And anything that's compatible on Xbox One, that's on 360. I would imagine will be compatible on the future console as well. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting times. And those shits are supposed to release in like 3 months, allegedly, and we still don't know how much the fuckers are gonna cost.
I'm gonna need them to get on that. I'm gonna need them to get on that right now. I don't like this. I only got enough money to buy one. And
how are you acting like it's not going to be a PlayStation? Come on.
Yeah, I'm not acting like it's not going to be a PlayStation.
You just want to know how much.
Right. I just want to know how much. I got the money sitting here waiting to pre-order. I just need to know how much.
Well, Micah, when you buy your PlayStation, are you sitting down? You are sitting down. I can see you on camera that you're sitting down. I need you to prepare yourself for this shocking news that came out this week about the PlayStation 5. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So Sony has announced that the PS4 Dualshock controller will not be compatible with PlayStation 5 games.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's bullshit. Because I remember last generation, those controllers were compatible. Oh, wait. Well, I remember the generation before that, those controllers were. Oh, wait.
That was a big deal?
Apparently, some people got really upset about it.
How old are these people?
I have no idea. No idea. No idea. It's ridiculous. What a ridiculous thing to be upset about. See, Sony,
I remember that the Super Nintendo controller didn't work for, or the Nintendo controller didn't work for SNES.
No.
They didn't.
Not at all.
Sega Saturn control, like a Sega Genesis controllers didn't work for Sega Saturn. What system have the other controllers ever fucking worked for the next system up?
Terrence, it's never happened.
Yo, these people, what are they, 12?
Actually, no, false. I'm lying. The Wii remotes worked on the Wii U.
That don't count, though.
That don't
count. That's like, oh, your iPhone S works on the same network as your iPhone. Like, it's the same thing, yo. Like, it's the same thing.
So yeah, Sony announced this week that here's the accessories.
Why even make that announcement?
Well, no, here's the announcement. They announced what accessories will work from PS4 to PS5, which includes racing wheels, which includes fight sticks, which includes
those are all fucking
light
USB.
sticks, right? And headsets and PlayStation Move controllers and things of that nature, but not PS4 controllers, unless you're playing PS4 games, of course. Which that makes sense. Like, you can use a PS4 DualShock if you're playing a PS4 game with PS5. But unfortunately, these PS5 controllers, which have new features not present in the DualShock 4, and will have games that take advantage of those new features that aren't present on the DualShock 4 controller, you gotta use the DualShock 5 guy or DualSense. Sorry that you have to use this new controller that comes with the system on the console.
Is this a joke?
No, I'm being dead serious. People
Like,
got really upset about this. Some people. I'm not saying everybody, but some people were like, "Oh, I can't believe this." I'm like, what?
I don't understand people anymore. Like, how long have you been gaming for you to be pissed off about that? Like, for real. Like, for real. You know, I've been gaming since 1984. I'm old as fuck. When were you born? Were you born in 1984?
I was born in
Brad? I was playing fucking Atari.
Probably the oldest
before
person
you were
born
born.
that could say I was playing games before you were born.
Yeah, right. I literally was.
You sound a million years older. That's
fucking old as shit.
But yeah.
So things like this just boggle my mind. I just don't understand how someone can be upset about that. I've never been able to play another system with an older system's fucking
Why would you even expect to be able to? Is my question. Like, why would that even be an expectation?
You know why? I blame Nintendo fans because they want, they want that Wavebird technology.
Oh, I'm sorry, Micah. Nintendo fans who happily ran out and bought $80 Joy-Cons when the Nintendo Switch came out, or $70 Pro controllers.
The fact that controller is $70.
It's a nice controller.
It's an Xbox controller.
It is, but it's nice.
An Xbox controller is $60.
That's true.
That's $10 more for a ripoff.
Needs batteries though, whereas the Pro controller does not.
Whatever, yeah. Like, no, that's unacceptable, man. That's Nintendo's a fucking trip. I still want to Switch though, because I play a lot of indie games, and it's a perfect fucking platform for me.
Apparently the PlayStation 4 camera will also work on PS5. It does require an adapter, but if you have a PSVR, you can get it at no extra cost. So again, there's not, I don't feel like there's anything in the story to complain about, yet we had to put it on the docket because people found a reason to complain about it. Speaking of things people were complaining about, the U.S. House of Representatives voted down an amendment brought forward by Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to try to get the U.S. military to stop recruiting on Twitch, which we talked about on the show last week. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's the thing that's happening. So, like I said, that amendment was struck down with bipartisan support, by the way. A lot of Democrats also voted to strike down that amendment. But the U.S. military, I think, got a bit of a surprise at how much blowback. Like the Army even went back and was like, "Hey, we're not going to do this anymore," because they were shocked at how pissed off people got. The real reason that AOC introduced this amendment, and the point was made, there are literal children that watch Twitch on a regular basis. Like, you shouldn't be the military.
A lot of people watch Fortnite.
Yeah, you should not be recruiting to 13-year-olds. Like, it's one thing if you're trying to do to like 17-year-olds that are getting ready to be enlistment eligible, but no one's walking around there's no Army recruiters walking around your middle school. There's no ROTC in middle school. You know,
when you guys were younger, when you were just getting out of high school, did the military ever send a friend that you went to school with to try to recruit you?
No.
I never got recruited because I lived in a Jewish neighborhood. And they didn't come after white people like they did minorities. Like, they just did.
Yo, I was home one day. And
it certainly didn't come to my house. What are you, crazy?
He didn't. I don't know if he called. I was like, I went to school with him. I think it was like 18. And he's like, "Hey, Terrence, what's up?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on? You've never called me before. What the fuck is going on?" He's like, "Yeah, I just joined the military." And, I was like, "Nigga, what?" They tried to get him to recruit me to go into. I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. Get out of my face. I'm not doing this." No. He's a cop now. Yeah.
Well, there you
go. But anyway, yeah, I just found it very strange. I will never forget that. I'm like, that's some underhanded shit.
Yeah.
to try to get a homeboy of yours to be like, hey, you want to join the military? No, I don't.
Yeah, there's something about like these grown men preying on children via video games that just it doesn't sit well with me, man. And I get it. Like we talked about it last week or the week before. Like you gotta go to where they are, but
Mm.
at the same time, like you kind of gotta know who you're talking to, right? Like
Yeah, they like Call of Duty. They're not trying to fucking shoot people for real.
right.
Cut it
Like
out.
at the very least, you gotta type in like ASL in the chat bar, right?
Oh, God.
And I got to tell you, the other knock-on effect of the story, nothing illustrates a lot of issues that we have in this country's government. And nothing, I've never felt more relatable with an elected official when AOC was talking about this amendment and the fact that it went down. And she said, and I've never heard a truer statement, imagine trying to explain to my fellow representatives what Twitch is.
Right. It's like a bunch of people stream, whether it be like DJs or people playing video games, playing music. And they'll probably sit there like, what the fuck? Like, didn't they have a hearing with all of the big tech companies?
Oh, those are always the best. That
too was like, what?
It's never.
Donald Trump Jr. He was banned for a couple of weeks because he posted something on the Facebook. He was like, that was Twitter, nigga. He's like, oh, okay, I'm an idiot. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Yeah, like they're old. They're all in their fucking 60s and 70s. They don't know what the fuck is going on. And she's what, 28?
Yeah.
She ain't even 30 yet.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Again, try and explain to these fucking senior citizens what Twitch is and why it's bad that the U.S. military is allowed to recruit the children.
Right.
On it.
You have to put a slideshow to let them in. That's gross.
Speaking of gross, a statement came out this week from Strauss Zelnick. Now, there's some statements when you see them and you read them and you say to yourself, I cannot wait until the inevitable Jim Sterling video comes out about this specific topic, and I get to hear this quote read in his voice when he's doing his typical CEO voice, because Strauss Zelnick came out, CEO of 2K Games, to defend the $10 price hike that is being instituted on NBA 2K21. And what he said was one of the most magnificent examples of corporate speak that you will ever see in your entire life. Because he said to gamesindustry.biz that the rise in price on NBA 2K21 was, quote, to reflect the quality of the experience, and that it was an extremely modest price change given that prices haven't changed for a very long time.
Yo.
He said as he lit his cigar on with $100 bill during the interview.
I just started watching the Harley Quinn cartoon on HBO Max, right? And the first episode, the first line, right? Let me set the stage for you. It's a yacht. You got a bunch of older white guys, and it's just a pile of money on a yacht. And one guy is smoking a cigar, and he says, "Good evening, fellow whites." Like that's the guy who made that statement.
He did later say in an investor call that the next gen game pricing structure would still be decided on a game by game basis, suggesting that not every Take-Two game would see the same $10 increase. If I could translate that into English for the rest of us, we're going to see how NBA 2K21 does first to see if there's a blowback before we can see if we can get away with doing it with every game that we sell.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to be crass. Niggas ain't paying $70 for fucking 2K21.
Au contraire, Terrence.
I
absolutely will.
I think they will. And I think that's why they did it with a sports game, because like the sports game like community, like they'll ride for this, whatever. It's an extra $10 for them. And then the corporate drones will see that as, oh, well, this is incredibly successful. Not like it's successful because like you get the gamers and you get the casual gamers who just want to play their sports game once a year.
Are they going to purchase a brand new system to play 2K21?
So many will, yes, many will.
So you're gonna drop $500 because we've all worked at GameStop. There are certain people that get systems for one fucking game. Somebody's gonna drop $500.
Yes.
To play 2K21 and then pay $70
Terrence,
for the same game that looks better. Because I doubt that it's going to be any better.
Did you see Zion Williamson drenched in sweat during the trailer that they showed?
I did see that trailer, and I was like, that doesn't do anything for me.
Quite frankly, it's gross. Get a towel.
Is it the sweat physics? Is that what they added?
Terrence, let me tell you, working at GameStop, there was no game in existence, and by a wide margin, that was easier to sell DLC for than the 2K games. None at all. Like every.
They had this VC bullshit.
Like literally half of the people. Like it was nothing for me to sell. Not like the dude pre-ordered the $100 edition that came with the 100,000 VC or whatever it was, and they would still buy like the $50 VC on top of it right then and there because they had to get their dude up to whatever maximum stats you can get them to purchase before you had to actually start playing the game.
Yo, that's insane.
They would do that shit without even thinking about it.
Pay
Anyone that bought the fucking game, yes.
To level up your character.
Yes.
Or you take 9 years to do it.
Right.
Yo, that's disgusting.
I had kids. When I say kids, I mean like, teenagers. But I had kids whose parents would come in. They'd literally buy the $50 VC card, and I was like, I was like, why you buying the $50 card? Oh, I deleted my MyPlayer. I'm gonna start a new one, and I gotta get the stats up.
Yo, these niggas just pay for a whole game to level up a character in a video game.
Yeah. Yes.
I wish my parents would have known I did some shit like that as a kid. Yo, I couldn't, like, they wouldn't even allow me to do that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't use their own money for that shit. Fuck no. They didn't want to buy a game, let alone me getting VC points so I can level up a character.
Yeah. Right. Imagine explaining that to your parents. Well,
like,
I need you to.
It's like I need $50 so I can level up a character in a game. What
happened to your old character? I don't like him.
I deleted him.
I want to do a new one. So
they're like, nigga, if you don't get, he would have literally said, nigga, if you don't get out of my face.
No, if there's any game they can get away with doing this on, it is absolutely NBA 2K.
Wow,
100%, no doubt in my mind.
I'm mad.
On the complete opposite end,
I don't get it. I can't imagine paying that kind of fucking money to level up a character and not being able to do it by playing. Oh, well, you can, but they just make it incredibly difficult because you're. I remember what 2K17 or something like that.
Yeah,
I played it a little bit, and like the progression, like your character's terrible starting out. Like he can't make a shot. It's like you like the D League.
You have to play hundreds of games.
You got to go through the D League to get your character, and he has to do good, but he can't because his stats are trash. Yo, that's so predatory. Yo.
It's a simulation. It's
that's
a simulation.
Insanity.
And yet somehow 2K, I feel like 2K more than any other developer,
it just flies
under the radar. Yeah,
it does. You know, it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst. I can't.
Kobe Bryant should be on the cover of every single one of these games because you have to play this video game as if you were Kobe fucking Bryant, who just ate, slept, and shat basketball.
Right. You gotta have the Mamba mentality to get a fucking level 99 character in 2K21. Jesus Christ. I wouldn't look. You know what? He's gonna be on the cover. I know, but I wouldn't want to be on the cover. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the cover because that's just fucked up. Like that's great, man. All right, video games suck. Yeah. Anyway.
On the opposite end of the price spectrum, shocking news this week. So
yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, the first news is, and this is kind of cool, and obviously it's not the biggest part of the story, but I still think it's kind of cool. Halo Infinite multiplayer will run at 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X.
What does that even look like?
Buttery smoothness, Mike.
It
It's
looks
smoothest.
I've seen 120 frames per second. It looks better than reality.
Right.
It's fucking weird. Yo.
Like people can't handle 48 frame movies. Like what does 120 frames per second look like?
It
looks really weird, yo.
It is something you would experience, and then you'd go back and play a game that's locked at 30, and you'd feel like you're crawling through quicksand, basically. Because I felt that way going from Apex to Destiny. Like I was playing Apex, which runs at 60, or maybe it wasn't Apex. Some game I was playing that runs at 60 frames per second, and then it was Call of Duty. I'm sorry, we were playing Black Ops 4, which runs at 60. And then immediately after we switched to Destiny, and I felt like I was like in fucking sand the entire time. Did
you ever put God of War in performance mode when you played Micah?
Performance mode. I put it in performance mode, but it doesn't. I don't remember it looking. I gotta see what that looks like, man. Like there's got to be,
because there's a huge difference between like fidelity and performance mode. Like when you see that running in 60 frames per second, that's 60 frames per second, and it looks. I gotta 120. Like your brain melts. It's so fucking bizarre.
All right.
But you have to have a screen that can show.
That can refresh it that fast.
Yeah.
Correct. I forget what the refresh rate of my monitor is, but I'm going to do that.
It's probably not 120.
I think you have to have a 240 hertz refresh rate in order to do 120. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the refresh rate has to be double whatever the frame rate is.
All right. Well, I can do it on the television here. I'm going to have to do that because I can't fathom, guys.
The bigger news, of course, is that Halo, and this is very informative as to why they're putting Halo on Game Pass. Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free to play, completely free to play. Like you don't have to pay a dime to play as much Halo Infinite multiplayer as you want, and they're going to offer some kind of a battle pass system in the game. So basically, the Halo Infinite that's going to be on the Xbox Game Pass is going to be the campaign. And that's it. And plus, maybe if they add like the co-op mode or something else, some other type of mode, that'll be on there. But this is really fucking interesting that Halo's going free to play.
Again, why are they doing consoles? Like Halo and multiplayer is free to play, which is the draw for Halo outside of like whatever fucking story they do. Once the story is over, people just do the multiplayer. 2, I think, being the best still out of all of them. Yeah, this is crazy. And it's going to be even crazier at 120 frames per second. But again, you need a monitor to do that. So you're not going to be able to do it on your television, which most people play Halo on their TVs, right?
Yeah.
Or they're going to be playing on like my Windows 10.
I mean, no bullshit. Like Halo running at 120 frames per second on your Series X is literally the first compelling reason they've offered to buy a Series X instead of just playing this shit on PC or whatever you happen to own. Not that you can't run that on PC as well. I'm sure it will be supported on PC too, but
it'll probably be higher on PC.
And I'm sure you can
honestly.
Yeah.
This is cool. Again.
Yeah, what's the
why? Why are you bringing out the Series X?
Like I feel like I feel no need to actually go out and buy that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I could play Halo at 120 frames per second, but like I don't necessarily need to.
Like if you got a PC that can run it, why bother?
Yeah.
Just buy Game Pass.
I mean, can't your Xbox One run it?
Yeah.
Not
120.
I mean, not at 120. Whatever, yo. Whatever. I've been playing games at 30 frames per second for a long time. It ain't gonna help me not get shot in the head. So, this is cool though. I mean, this is so different. for what we know. Like you said last week, Brad, I just can't believe that some large corporation is trying to help the consumer consume more of their product. It seems weird, right? Like it shouldn't seem weird, but it does. Like they're breaking down the barriers to play their games.
Well, I don't know if I don't know
as long as you
really altruistic. I'm sure there'll be plenty of ways you can spend money inside of Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Yes, it's free to play. There's going to be a ton of skins and
but that's the thing, right? Like it's a first-person shooter. What am I like? So Master Chief is going to be blue? I can't see him.
But the thing is, like, typically when someone runs like a free-to-play game, they're doing it either to nickel and dime you with microtransactions or to possibly get you to check out their product when you might not otherwise would have. Warzone is free to play, and not that everyone on the earth that cares to hasn't played Call of Duty at this point, but I'm sure there's like a few thousand people that haven't, and that's a great way to check out what Call of Duty's like. So if you like Warzone, you would could then say, oh, maybe I should check out the latest Call of Duty game and see if that's fun. But you pay for that. Microsoft's like, hey, here's Halo Infinite for free. Would you like to play Halo? Just buy Game Pass. You don't even have to buy the console. You don't have to buy. You don't have to buy the game.
So So Microsoft is more like drug dealers than altruists.
We'll give you a hit for free.
But not even because if you care enough to play Halo Infinite for free, don't you probably like? What are the odds that you probably have Game Pass already?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm talking about
if you're going to get an Xbox Series X, you're going to get Game Pass. Like right. It's just it doesn't make
it would be foolish not to.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense not to do so.
Right. So I was very surprised when this news came out. But yeah, so Halo, you don't pay for Halo multiplayer anymore, guys. That's just something you get for free now. Just buy it.
I just want to see all the gun skins they're gonna have.
Oh,
and how much they're gonna cost.
An untold number.
Like $10 for a gun skin.
But that'll be interesting because in Halo 5, they didn't charge you for like map packs and stuff like that. Like all the post-release content came out for free, and then they had microtransactions. So I wonder if they go the opposite direction with this. Is it free to play? But now when we put out the new maps and shit, now you gotta pay for that.
It's kind of only fair. Or if you pay for a Game Pass, you get it for free.
Yeah, or earlier, something along those lines.
But Game Pass, $15 a month, 12 months. How much is that? I don't know. 170.
Yeah,
180 a year. What is that? 3 games?
Yeah. So as long as you find 3 games you like.
Wow, Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Anyway, go to God damn it. Go to densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases. When you go to densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases, you don't pay anything extra and you help out the show. I went to densepixels.com/Amazon and I typed in Halo, and the first thing that popped up is the Halo Bassinet Glide Sleeper Bedside Bassinet adjustable, because that's what my algorithms on Amazon are like now. Whereas before, it would just be Master Chief all over the place. And now it is bassinets. So, yeah, that's what having a baby does for you. You can get Shadows of Reach, a Master Chief story, when you go to densepixels.com/Amazon. You can get Halo Nightfall, starring that black dude that played Luke Cage poorly.
Mike Coulter.
Go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon.
So, you guys know me, listening out there. Mr. PlayStation. Love PlayStation. Support most things that PlayStation does. If you've been listening for the past several months, you also know that I'm not very high on this Avengers game that's coming out this September, supposedly. We'll see. It's a month away. I'm not optimistic, guys. Not coming out on time. Even though apparently the latest gameplay stuff that they had some outlets play is good. Allegedly.
I watched it. Well, I watched some gameplay and what they're doing with it. It's Destiny.
Yeah, you just get a better sense of what's going on, and it's Destiny. It's superhero Destiny.
Yeah,
that is not a good sign for people choose through Destiny content in 2 seconds. And I'd imagine the same can happen here, but we're not talking about that right now. I'm also someone who generally understands the need in this day and age, especially for console exclusive content. I know that a lot of people don't like that, but again, in this day and age where cross-play is a thing and is becoming more and more prevalent, their companies have to do something to gain some kind of a competitive advantage. Now all that being said, this news that came out this week about Marvel Avengers is, to quote Micah, gross. Because they have announced that Spider-Man, the Spider-Man character, which is coming as a free update, as all the characters for this game are, in 2021, is going to be exclusive to the PlayStation family of consoles. It is not going to appear on Xbox. It is not going to appear on PC. I think this.
I think it's funny.
I don't like this at all. It's one thing if you're gonna if you're gonna have exclusives for like a mission in Destiny, which is usually what happens, or a couple multiplayer maps, or even an exotic gun. Or
aren't there some guns that the PS4 has that the Xbox don't?
There was like one.
It was for a while.
For a year.
Yeah, I think it was longer than
Xbox got it as well.
What gun was it? It was like one or two guns.
I think it was the Borealis sniper, if memory serves correctly, which was a perfectly serviceable, but not like a god tier sniper rifle. Like, it was, the cool thing about it is that you could change elements on the fly. Like that was the perk that the gun had.
Wasn't the Jade Rabbit one of them also?
Maybe on Destiny 1. I don't think it was exclusive on Destiny 2.
Sex toy.
But so even Call of Duty Modern Warfare had an exclusive game mode, which nobody cared about.
Yeah,
so it wasn't that big of a deal. And that was starting to push the line a little bit.
That was kind of fucked up. Is it still exclusive? It's going to be exclusive until like next month.
I think so, yeah. But
I don't even know what mode it is.
It's really shitty to gate the most popular Marvel character, ostensibly.
Not ostensibly.
As a console.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, maybe
face of Marvel.
Maybe Xbox should have came out of that. What a fucking Spider-Man.
Like
it's Sony.
It's a shitty move. It's a shitty move. It's and Amir asked this in the question of the week: is this anti-consumer? I don't know that it's anti-consumer. It just sucks.
It is. It's kind of whack. I think it's funny, but it's kind of whack. Like, the game doesn't look like it's gonna be that great. I'm like, after I watched it, I'm like, I wouldn't pay $60 for this. I do want to play it just to kind of see, because the combat just looks awful to me. It just don't look good to me. It doesn't. And like, they announced at the end of that presentation, they announced the next character to come, Hawkeye. I was like, really? Really?
For some reason, people love a guy who fights supervillains with archaic weapons. I don't know why, but
I was like, well, that's funny.
Well,
you're serious.
I'm sure that'll soften the blow for the Xbox PC. Spider-Man. Well, at least we're getting Hawkeye, guys.
It's not even the Hawkeye that people actually like, right? Like,
it was just some random, it was just like some white dude. I mean, that's basically who Hawkeye is, but I'm like,
he looked like Cole from Infamous.
You're right.
Pick up archery. That's what he looked like.
I was like, what the fuck? This is not a big deal, guys. Who cares?
You'd be surprised.
I think the beta comes out next month. I think
Yeah,
the
this
free-to-play
month.
beta comes out.
The beta
Oh yeah,
comes out
August.
Yeah.
this weekend.
Like the 11th or something like that. Is
The
it?
PlayStation beta comes out this weekend.
But you
The
gotta, you have to
PC. Yeah,
pre-order.
you gotta-
No,
you
the
gotta-
actual like the beta where you don't have to pre-order is like at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I'm not pre-ordering. Who? Okay, you know what? A lot of people want to play it. That's fine. And he's not coming out till next year.
No,
Nah.
but you'll know he's coming, but not to X. I think it's, and again,
This is really fucked up, dude. Like, it's not like Hawkeye should have been the exclusive character. You know what I mean?
And no one would have given a fuck. Like Hawkeye, whatever.
Like, some
Fine.
people would have been mad, but they would have got over it. Not Spider-Man, dude. Like,
It's foul. It is. It's foul, but look.
what do you do? Like, I'd imagine that this is a game that they're working at some point to do cross-platform play on. Yes, I'd imagine that most every game that's coming out nowadays is going to at least be planning on implementing that down the road if they can.
Here's the thing about this game. I don't think it's going to be good enough to warrant cross-platform play. Like, look, again, it looks pretty. It does. It just doesn't look fun. Like, people were super hyped after they saw it. It's like, oh, this looks way better. I'm like, does it?
I think it's
Because
just
the big
people,
thing is like you basically like you unlock gear and you can like color your character and you can give them different moves and shit and then go into like little skirmishes or I don't know.
Like I said, we've talked about the game. And again, it might be fun to play. Like, the gameplay might be good. But what they've revealed so far is every character has like a story arc, which will be however many missions that is. And then you have these like incursions or whatever, which will probably be Destiny strikes.
It's going to be
game.
strikes or raids or whatever. And that's
not even raids, not at launch. Like trust me, if they were going to have like something as vast as a raid, they would fucking tell you about it.
Well, the guy said they can be as short as 5 minutes or as long as 45 minutes. That's technically that's raid time.
So a stronghold is what you're saying, a la Anthem.
Yeah. Ew. I didn't play Anthem. They have raids in Division 2. Well, the raids can take, depending on.
So the raids are like
some motherfuckers can take 2. Yeah. You can. Well, people have knocked them down to like,
of course,
45 minutes now. But like the last raid for Division 2, it took the first team to do it. It took them 18 hours. No. Yeah,
I don't think you're getting that level of.
No, not fucking Marvel Avengers. So. Because they were like, yeah, they're going to have like environmental puzzles and shit like that. So yeah, they're going to be doing like raid type things, but they're not going to be that long. So, again, it's just I don't see it fitting in this. I don't know. Go ahead.
I played a game that I really enjoyed was a game called Marvel Heroes. It was the Marvel MMO. And, it wasn't the best, like, Diablo style MMO out there.
And I played it when it was free to play, like the last 2 months of its existence. I had fun.
Right. And I had fun with it. I imagine, that people are hoping that this game will. Well, I don't know what people are thinking about this game. This
game
like,
had a lot of Marvel characters. This game has like 7.
This game.
So they're gonna come out with more characters as it progresses.
Right. It has
that's
7.
That's a lot of work.
And 6 if you don't have a specific console.
But that's the thing, right? So like, obviously their goal is that people are sitting here that are super excited for Avengers to come out, and they're like, which next gen console am I gonna buy? I really don't know. And they're trying to sway people to buy a PS5 over an Xbox Series X. I get it. I absolutely get it. But it's really shitty if you have someone who's going to be a huge fan of this game that just happens to want to play it on Xbox. Like, again, we're not talking about a side mission. We're not talking about skins. We're talking about a whole fucking character and everything that comes with that character.
You know what will be even worse? If he comes out at the same day fucking Miles Morales comes out the game. He'll just be throwing dirt and salt in the wounds.
Imagine having Destiny and some content on Destiny 2 was exclusive for PlayStation, right?
Imagine an entire subclass. It's just like, nope, you have to get a PlayStation in order to use this.
Imagine a Titan. You can't play a Titan on an Xbox or a PC. The only way you can play a Titan is if you want to play it. Is you have to play it on one particular console. Like that's the level of like hinkiness that this is, man.
And it's super. And again, like you're right, it's super foul because it's fucking Spider-Man.
Right, it's Spider-Man, yo.
But there are no Spider-Man games on Xbox, and the ones that are on there are trash. So it should have fucking.
So again, it's not
work with Sony. I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft wanted to work with Sony is it a timed exclusive?
They have not said. All they have said is that it is exclusive to PlayStation. That's all.
It can't be not a timed exclusive.
Oh, it sure can be, Terrence.
It can be, but that
Marvel's Spider-Man is not a timed exclusive on PlayStation.
That's a fucking Sony. That's a Sony fucking product.
I don't know.
No, that's so funny.
I'm not going as far to say it's anti-consumer, but it is really shitty. They're really shitty
fucked up
to do. But
right.
at the same time, buy PlayStation 5. And Microsoft to buy an Xbox. So I don't know.
Right. Microsoft don't even give a fuck if you buy an Xbox Series X. Like, barely. They just want you to buy the Game Pass.
So we go to the post office. We'll start with Malcolm, who says, based on Terrence's love of Hamilton, which video game do you think is best suited to be adapted to a play?
The fuck? I don't like plays. I just like Hamilton. like I don't like musical theater at all. I don't. But this was different. Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
As far as like a play, like any of the like Don't Nod / Quantic Dream / like episodic
like Being Human, Detroit.
Yeah, but that's like a given, right? Like I like Terrence.
I want to see a Metal Gear Solid theater.
I want to see a thespian up on a stage with a cardboard box hiding from people, pretending not to see them, even though they're 20 feet away.
I want Metal Gear Solid prose in song form.
Yes, that's what I say. I want the Metal Gear Solid musical.
Yes, that's what I want. I would see that because that sounds absolutely ridiculous.
You better watch out or you'll be shot by Revolver Ocelot.
I want to hear somebody sing about a tree frog.
Well, you already have the opening song. There you go.
Yeah, I want to see somebody like really belt that out on stage.
It's terrible that Snake Eater's like arguably in the top half, just barely, like not in the top half, but like in the upper half of James Bond theme song. Cam says 2 questions. Why did none of you people tell me that you could learn a goddamn super kick in Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, you can. I kicked someone off of a lighthouse and got an achievement for it. Or a trophy. I super kicked somebody off of it.
And he asks also, why is everyone violating rule number 1 of Fight Club as it pertains to Shano Max? New Fight Club now. Look, for those of you that don't know what Cam is talking about, WWE rolled out a new segment called Raw Underground on Raw last night, which is done up like an underground wrestling club that is being spearheaded by Shane McMahon. And they had some notable wrestlers like Dolph Ziggler and one of the Viking Raiders participating in said Fight Club.
Imagine, Terrence, a real life Def Jam vendetta. That's what that was. It had a wrestling ring
with no ropes,
right? With no ropes.
All black.
The posts were there,
yes,
with no ropes, all black, and it's just a bunch of people cosplaying as a bunch of thug hooligans and rappers, and they just go in there and start doing wrestling moves on each other. It was a real live Def Jam vendetta.
First of all, I seem a little racist. They're dressed up like that. Wow, they are really just just throwing anything out there.
They are throwing
complete with the boss characters coming in at the end of the show and beating the shit out of people.
Yes.
MVP.
New faction came in and started
fuck you. MVP.
Yes.
All right.
MVP,
that's racist.
Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, because black people got to stick together. And look, I kind of like it.
Yo, Vince McMahon is a fucking racist, dude. Jesus Christ. So it was an underground fight club. So the three niggas had to be the
yeah.
Thumbs up. Okay.
And then juxtaposed with this, they're also apparently starting some kind of an Antifa angle as well on Raw, because we need that to be done by Vince McMahon. Let me tell you. Can't wait.
How old is Vince? Is he 70 something? He's 74
like
also,
or something like that. Yeah, he's up there.
Goddamn fucking birds of a feather, man. Good lord.
Let's see here. Will says, if you could choose the next mini arcade for Arcade 1-Up to make, which would you pick?
Punisher.
There you go. What else would have to be on there? They don't
game.
Usually release one game on them now. They usually try to
Simpsons. Like I loved all those side-scrolling beat 'em ups. Man. All of them. X-Men. Just throw them all.
I'm very surprised that Children of the Atom or whatever it's called isn't.
That's crazy.
Isn't there yet?
Yeah, that's wild. How did they like? Yeah, that was the first one. No, that wasn't the first one. Was that the first Verse game?
I can't remember. All I remember is Wolverine threw sonic booms with his claws for some reason.
Yeah, Children of the Atom had like the super high because they would jump really high in that game to do aerial combos.
Hold on, let me see.
So the level was like more vertical than fucking horizontal.
I think I'm getting my X-Men games.
Oh, you're talking about the side-scrolling beat 'em up X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh, Children of the Atom was the fighting game.
Okay, well, whatever the side-scrolling beat 'em up was.
I think that was just X-Men.
Yeah, but when they have to make a 6-player cabinet for that to be able to really do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
do it right.
That thing was huge. Like, where you gonna put it?
Hey, I couldn't put it nowhere in my house, but
but you'd need a dedicated room for that one.
Yeah,
but that would be dope. A 6-player fucking X-Men cabinet.
Yeah, that'd be cool as shit. No one beats the Blob, and fucking Colossus just got mad and shit.
Like, they're doing pretty good so far with these. I think I like, not for me personally. I couldn't care less because I've got the one I want. But I like a Tekken cabinet could be cool.
Which one?
Tekken 2? They probably like Tekken
1 and 2
3 on there, if I had to guess.
A Virtua Fighter would be dope.
Yeah,
but then again, like Virtua Fighter is incredibly technical. So,
but
trying to get two people to play on that
people
thing.
Are looking for, though. I mean, people like they're trying to find the stuff that's like massively popular, and that stuff was popular in the arcades. Maybe more in Japan than here, but
right.
Like I said, I think they're doing a pretty good job. Simpsons arcade game is actually not as good as people remember. Like, it's fun to play, but it's very dated, very, very dated.
Yeah, they all are.
Too.
Yeah,
very short.
Didn't Marge like beat people up with a vacuum cleaner in that game?
Yep.
Well, you have to remember about the Simpsons arcade game is that it came out like literally a year after the show started. So like they're like Smithers is black in the game like he was in the first season of The Simpsons, which is weird. And then like none of the there's tons of characters in the Simpsons arcade game that you don't see in the show ever. Like they literally just made up characters for them because they didn't have enough source material to literally to fill it out. So, but yeah, there's that. James says, I bought a Switch Lite and got Pokemon Sword and Breath of the Wild to go with it. What games are a must-own for the system? I'll defer to Carrie, who comments below, who mentions Cadence of Hyrule, Link's Awakening, Mario Odyssey, Smash Ultimate, Mario Kart 8, DKC, and Golf Story. I would second Mario. Like, if you buy one game off Carrie's list, I would say Mario Odyssey should be that game.
Switch to see if there's anything that is a must-buy that isn't already available everywhere else. And I don't see any.
Of course, I'm always going to vote for Slay the Spire, but you can play that on other stuff, but I like it best on the Switch. Let's see here. Tyrone extols the virtues of Fall Guys. He said, "For playing Fall Guys, how addicted are you?" Apparently, all three of us are going to be after this is done.
I turned on my PlayStation to download it, and when it was done, you could see who's playing, and he's playing it.
Yeah. They sent me an invite, but I'm recording.
Johnny mentions the FGC Roundtable Direct that happened, but he also asked, what other genre of games would you like a roundtable with directors sitting at it for the betterment of gaming?
What genre?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my genres are fighting games. It was that roundtable was kind of whack. But
it was exactly what I thought a Japanese roundtable. Just like very matter of fact.
Yeah.
Bunch of inside, like very rigid, much like the Japanese fighting game development. It's very rigid. We know best. Like I appreciate it, but
I would be interested, especially just because it's a burgeoning genre, to get the game directors for the prominent battle royale games together to talk about how that genre can evolve, what changes you could see inside of that space, because like you said, it's still a new genre, but for all intents and purposes. And
I'm looking forward to Hyperscape. I want to play that because it looks like a faster pace, something I would probably like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I guess that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I can't really think of any other genre like open world.
No,
but that's kind of boring. It would just be kind of like, what kind of tech do they use to get the most out of a system to add shit to open world games? And I don't want it. I don't care.
It would be cool to have a roundtable with all of the notable CEOs of publishers to talk about microtransactions and DLC as they all sip cognac and laugh about how rich they are.
Do they trying to get fucking look? Hello. Do they allow people to ask questions on these roundtables? Because don't do that.
Well, they screen them first. So
okay.
Well, they'd be like, why do you all suck so bad? Why are you trying to milk us out of all of the money we have?
I mean, how else are we going to light these cigars, right?
I don't think I would want to see that one, because I would just get pissed. It'd be like watching a fucking goddamn Trump interview. I would be very upset. I couldn't do that. They can just stick to themselves. Fuck them.
And then we will end with Jacob. He says his dark horse pull through would be to see Sega join forces with a hardware producer and re-enter the game for real. I think Sega is perfectly happy being a game publisher at this point. Honestly, hardware comes with a whole set of, especially in this day and age now. It's one thing back then when the investment into hardware was minuscule compared to what it is now, I'm sure. But I mean, the problem is that nowadays, if you come out with a real console, I'm not talking about the fucking Talarico Vision that's coming out or whatever later on. I'm talking about if you come with something that would try to step to PlayStation or Xbox, right, or Nintendo, and you fail, your company is bankrupt. That is an investment that you'd have.
But these are $1 billion companies,
right? To even
Sega's not $1 billion nothing.
Yeah, to compete in that space would be make or break, literally. And plus the other thing is you'd have to probably at this point, unless you are Google or Amazon, you'd have to get venture capitalist money in order to do it. And no right-thinking venture capitalists be like, sure, I'll give you millions of dollars to make a console that might compete with Sony and Microsoft, but probably not. So it's gonna be a shitty investment. That's not gonna happen. So I think Sega's happy where they are. And Sega has also made a lot of really smart moves in acquisitions in terms of getting development studios. They picked up Atlas, they picked up, they're publishing the Yakuza games. They've come out with a lot of really good games since they've really focused in on publishing exclusively. And I think that's the best place for them to live.
Right, they got PSO2 New Beginnings or whatever.
Yeah,
apparently, that's a huge moneymaker for them.
It is.
Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yep.
I want to play it, but I don't have Well, I do have Xbox, but I don't feel like hooking everything up. But the new one comes out. I think it's on PS4. You can play it on the Japanese console.
Okay.
Something like that. But I kind of want to play that when it comes out. So.
Well, Terrence, it's coming to Xbox Series X. I don't know if you know. Microsoft want to make sure you know, though.
Yeah, because it's free to play.
But it's on Game Pass, so you don't
even need Game Pass. Do you need Game Pass? Because it's a free to play game, right?
I don't think you need Game Pass, but I think it's available on Game Pass. So there you go.
Yeah, it became. I think that was available a couple months ago. They made it free. Yeah. I want to know how much I think it's going to cost. I really do. Again,
I don't.
$500 with a year of Game Pass.
I don't see a world where the PS5 is not going to cost $500. What the Xbox costs is
it's a fucking crapshoot,
right? But
they'd probably be willing to lose money on the damn thing at this point. Who cares?
Yeah, I would bet a sizable amount of money that the PS5 will cost $500 when it comes out.
That's what I've been saying. It's like no less than $5.
No more than. I think $500 is the price. Like I don't think they're going to go above $5.
Oh,
but I also don't think
you think it's just going to be straight $5.
Yep.
No.
Well, $5 for the disc version, and then God only knows with the discless version.
I mean, I don't need a disc version. I haven't bought a game in fucking 6 years.
Yeah, now that I'm not on GameStop anymore, I was thinking about which version of the PS5 I'm going to get. I'm like, do I really need that? I don't know. So
I don't remember touching a physical copy of a video game. I don't remember the last time I did that.
Then again, I do watch movies in my office still on Blu-ray, so maybe I do need.
I don't do that
disc version. So you know what you need to do? You need to go to densepixels.com/fans. I've been money with the segues today. Sign up for our fan group today on Facebook. You too can post in the Dense Pixels post office to ask those questions that we read on the show almost every single week. Subscribe to this show and all the other TNP Studio shows wherever you get your podcast. Go to youtube.com/densepixels. Subscribe, ring the bell icon as well. And then go to Twitch and follow the following accounts. Me, at DensePixelsBrad, Terrence is Aberration410, and Carrie is Suffits Carrie. I've talked about getting back into the streaming game. I need to get in Elgato first before I do it. I'm just hyping myself up to actually spend the money on that thing because those things are fucking expensive.
How much is that thing?
The one that lets you, the one that has a 4K 60 FPS pass through is $200, which is quite pricey. So, like I said, I'm getting myself hyped up to buy one of those fucking things, but we'll see. But apparently, Twitch has streaming software in beta on Mac, so I'll check that out. I'd much rather use an in-house client over OBS, which I hate. But that is it for us this week. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening, and we will see you all in the next week.
See you.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.